Why is biodiversity lost? In this educational video, we are going to talk about 5 issues that are affecting the biodiversity of Mexico. The problems are habitat loss, overexploitation, invasive species, pollution, and climate change. All these 5 problems are anthropogenic because the main author is the human. Our hypothesis is that if Mexico keeps doing nothing for all these issues, the problem of the biodiversity will get worse and it's going to get into a point where we cannot get the biodiversity back.
Habitat loss. The loss and deterioration of habitats is the main cause of biodiversity loss by transforming jungles, forests, bushes, grasslands, mangroves, lagoons, and reefs into agricultural areas. Livestock, shrimp farms, dams, roads, and urban areas. We destroy the habitat of thousands of species. Many times the transformation is not complete, but the deterioration of composition, structure, and function of the ecosystem that impacts the species, the goods, and the services that we obtain from nature. The latest estimate indicates that in Mexico, 50% of the ecosystems have been lost. The main transformation have been carried out in humid, dried forests, grassland, cloud forests, mangroves, and to a lesser extent in the thickest and temperate forests. The most accessible, productive ecosystems with soils and in flat places have been most transformed. The remainders are found in places that are not very accessible or very productive. The loss of habitat occurs due to the change of land use. The natural ecosystems, forests, jungles, grassland, etc., to agriculture, livestock, industrial, tourism, oil, mining, and etc., all activities which are contemplated in evaluations of environmental impact of the general law of ecological balance and environmental protection.
Now, invasive species. The introduction of non-native exotic species that becomes invasive or a pest is a very important cause of the Mexico's biodiversity loss. The species that come by accident or purposely to a new ecosystem prey on their native species. They can transmit them diseases, hunt on them, or prey for them, or they can modify their habitats, and that can cause the environmental, economic, and social problems to the place that they are invading. Some of these species are the rats and the mice of Asia, the lily from South America, and the lionfish from the Western Pacific and Oceania. These invasive species take advantage of the natural disasters such as storms, hurricanes, sea currents, or changes in their natural places, or they are introduced directly by human activities. So the increase in tourism activities and transport have been fundamental ways for these species to disperse. So when these species are introduced to a new environment, some of these organisms develop a new behavior or different that they have in their natural ecosystem. So these new behaviors include the uncontrolled growth of this species. They can have aggressive behaviors that were not shown in their natural habitat and can be used for determining the invasiveness of each species.
Overexploitation. Overexploitation is when the people extract the quantity of a species and this quantity is greater than the birth rate. These affect the population. A lot of species are affected thanks to these activities, like the orcas, a lot of fishes, the whales, the deer, and another species. This activity uh, affects a lot, and other species are more vulnerable than others for different factors like birth rate, predators, restricted distribution, low abundance, high mortality rate, and others. In Mexico and in the world, this activity is being legally punished. For example, the official Mexican standard of 059 said that this is a very bad action and this should be punished with 5 years or more. We need to protect our species.
Okay, hi, I'm Fer and I'm a pizza, as you can see, and I'm gonna be talking about pollution and all the horrible things that it is causing to our environment. So let's start. As I said, the production of pollutants started to increase, and this is affecting our entire planet. Some pollutants are weakening our ozone layer. The ozone layer is in charge to protect all the living beings from sun's ultra. In addition, chemical substances are not the only ones that are causing a damage to our environment. We have also the excess of energy, and the excess of energy considers heat, sound. The increase of the presence of chemical substances in our environment as a result of human activities is causing a lot of consequences for many species. Industrial, agricultural, livestock, and urban activities. As I said, urban activities are contributing to air, water, and soil pollution. For a long time, pollution was a small problem, but with the pass of the years, the pollutants from ultraviolet radiation, while other pollutants are causing global warming. Water, soil, and air pollution are affecting directly to organisms even in remote locations. Light and transgenic organisms as pollutants. At the national level, the regulation on pollutants are found in the General Law of Ecological Balance and Environmental Protection.
During the past 100 years, the increase in the average temperature of the atmosphere and the oceans of the planet has been documented due to the increase in the concentration of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, nitrogen oxides, ozone, chlorofluorocarbons, and steam produced by the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation, a combination of excess production and the reduced capacity to capture pollution. The consequences are radical changes in the distribution of ecosystems and species, increase in the sea level, disappearance of glaciers, disappearance of large coral reefs, unpredictable climates, and extreme events such as droughts, storms, typhoons, tsunamis, blizzards, etc. Climate change affects all organisms on our planet. Many of them are already responding to this new dynamic through changes in their distribution, their behavior, and migration. In Mexico, the General Law on Climate Change was published in 2012. Globally, there exists the Convention on Climate Change, which was created in 1994.
Now that we tested our hypotheses, we know that everything reaches an end. So if the people in Mexico or the government does nothing, the biodiversity will be gone. In conclusion, all these factors are due to human activities, and their underlying causes are social, political, and economical. the effect of our activities, which in all history have been in a small scale, now are in a large scale. Global change has become one of the major threats for the biodiversity of Mexico. In Mexico, a large number of endemic species with restricted distribution are now affected by all the variables and changes. Now, the endangered species are affected by all the mentioned factors before.